I kept wondering where this need for perfection was coming from, where this need to just be perfect was coming from, where I felt like I needed to put and place people on a pedestal to be perfect, or even place myself on a pedestal to be perfect and perform, where all of this pressure to be perfect was coming from, and why I felt like I needed to be perfect in order for the things that I wanted to come into an alignment with me. And I couldn't figure out why, because I was thinking that I didn't have that need as a child to, get all of those like medals and those awards to, feel wanted. And then it clicked for me, actually, that I did. Because when I wasn't, and a lot of these are in quotation marks, but when I was bad, or when I wasn't, doing things right, or, I was making mistakes, I was trigger warning, getting my ass beat. I was trigger warning, again, being abused or being yelled at, or, just being like, I wasn't listened to. I was ignored. My feelings were, not taken into account. I was being asked, are you done? When I was expressing my feelings, when I was, trying to be myself, that was being frowned upon. And when I was simply, trying to do things for me, that was also frowned upon, or it wasn't supported. So it constantly felt like it was a very confusing time for me, actually, growing up, because I wasn't sure what to do to be this person that my parents wanted, and I just couldn't live up to that standard. I was the black sheep because I couldn't live up to that standard. I needed to be myself. I had my own mouth. I had my own opinions, and sometimes I just said that. I would just say that. I would just be me. And that was frowned upon. And I didn't always get the love and the care and just the things that I felt like I needed to grow. And so with this, now I sit there and I'm wondering, and I'm not even just wondering, like I'm looking at myself, I'm observing me, and I'm just seeing how, just for an instance, like I'm sitting on the balcony, I bring chocolate out here, but I'm working through things, but I'm watching, or I just noticed, like I'm not eating the chocolate because I feel like I need to reach a certain milestone or a goal or just a breakthrough in order to eat the chocolate. But everything is energy. Absolutely everything is energy. And it's up to me to realize that I am the core of that chocolate. The chocolate represents pleasure, right? It represents pleasure. It represents happiness. It represents love. But that is who I am at my core. So, of course, that's the reason why I already have it, because we align, because this is matching my vibrational frequency, because this is aligning with who I actually am at my core. Things like, opportunities and gifts, and even things like a high luxury apartments, luxury things, luxury trips, whatever. You receive those things, people receive those things because they align with them, because they are who they are at their core. Who they are at their core. They align with that. That is who they are. Right? They are luxury at their core. That is their birthright. They are, this fun, adventurous spirit. They are this, love. Okay? They are this, this rich energy, this abundant energy at their core. That's who we are. So that's why those things, when we realize those things, they tend to vibrate into our reality, because we're tapping into that frequency of ours. And it was just realizing that just that simple realization of where that was coming from, why I was feeling that, because I've been struggling. And last night it really came to me that I was struggling with wondering why I felt like I needed to be perfect for my soulmate to be here or exist within my reality. Why I felt like I wasn't ready for it yet. Why I felt like there was something still that I needed to do to have this, to experience this. Like I needed to reach a certain milestone or goal for me to have this, instead of it just being me. And I had to realize that if the people in my reality, I just had to realize something. Like, okay, like have I ever stopped to think that the reason why certain people in my reality now have just like not seen me for who I am and have not, like, I guess what you would say, chosen me, or they have not aligned with me. I like to say aligned now. I don't really like to say chosen, but they have not aligned with me. Have I ever stopped to realize that maybe it's because they are not who I am at my core? Maybe I'm not really seeing them for who they are. Maybe they have a facade or a mask on. Maybe I'm not really seeing them for who they are, and we are not aligning together at our core, because we may be a reflection of each other. They may be showing me, but they're probably showing me the shadow aspect, which is why I'm sitting here, in confusion and wondering what's going on and questioning my identity and questioning who I am and what I'm here to do, and, just questioning these things about myself in a way that's not really, if I'm not taking the reins, not conducive to my growth. Maybe it's because they're not showing me the light aspect of myself, but they're showing me the shadow aspect of myself, which is not what I'm aligning with, right? I'm light at my very core. I am love at my very core. So that's what I am trying to and wanting to and meant to align with. And so I was just really thinking about that, because why is it that I would feel scared? Why is it that I would feel, this fear inside of my heart, knowing that my love, my soulmate is here for me now at this time? Knowing that, why would I feel scared? And it's because I wasn't realizing that this whole time I myself had a facade, right? Because I wasn't seeing that I was trying to be, I was trying to be marketable. I was trying to be like this marketable piece. I was trying to be, digestible. That's what the word I was looking for. Digestible for all of these other people and places. I actually accidentally said it in the mirror. I was just like, it came up. It was like, I like being digestible. Ooh, a butterfly. Yeah. It's like I'm being someone that I'm not. Like I'm trying to be this perfect person. I'm trying to show them all the best parts of me. I'm trying to perform. I'm trying to, prove my worth or prove myself to them. And in reality, I don't have to do any of that. The right person who's aligning with me will see me for who I am. And if they don't see me for who I am, they can literally stay blind, because the whole point is for me to show myself who I am, for me to show myself that I am seen and I am heard, that essence of being seen and being heard comes from within. It comes from me seeing that of myself. It comes from me giving myself the safe space. It comes from me opening a space up for me to talk and be vulnerable, and for me to do that action that shows myself that I love myself more than anything. And if that somebody is not aligning with me, it's okay, because I align with myself, and I can call in those people that really truly do align with me by simply being myself, by simply saying that I'm not going to accept anything less than I deserve. By simply literally having the respect for myself. And all those times in the past, I didn't have that respect for myself. And so I felt literally like I needed to micromanage these relationships, like I needed to control these relationships and these people and these places and these situations and these things. Like I needed to control them all to go into my favor. And in reality, I simply had to relax and be myself. Because the whole point is to be with somebody that reminds you of the light within yourself, that reminds you of all the good within yourself. That is why the light within you will showcase the way. It will show the path that you're supposed to be walking. The simple light within you. You will tell if somebody's not for you. If you're not seeing all the good within you, if all the things that are coming up instead is just the jealousy and the heartbreak and and now I'm not going to say that you're not going to be triggered, because you are going to be triggered and these people are not going to be perfect. But at the end of the day, you're still going to feel safe with these people. You're still going to feel aligned with these people. You're still going to feel that soul connection that's not going to bring up all of these, that's going to make your heart feel like it is trapped in a cage. Okay? That's going to make you feel like you don't have to rush. You don't have to rush into any of these things. All that you need to do is simply be yourself. You don't have to perform. You don't have to place yourself on this pedestal. I actually seen a vision of me and this person just holding hands. We're on this pedestal, on these pedestals, and we're holding hands. We can join hands and just simply jump off these pedestals together. And I can feel the wind breezing past me as I fly into the air so freely, as I'm falling, free falling. And I land on something so soft because Spirit has me. It is okay for me to be human, to live the full human experience. It is okay for that person that I am calling in, that is aligning with me, to be a human and to live the full human experience. I cannot sit here and try to control them away from having their human experiences. I cannot sit there and control them away from being themselves. I want to and need the space to be myself. I want to and need this space to be free, to be my own person, to go through my own things, to go through my own lessons, to learn what I need to learn and to grow. We are separate people. We are simply growing together. That's what we really want at our core. That's what we really need. So isn't it so freeing to just release the pedestal completely, to not place yourself on that pedestal, to not place him or her on that pedestal, and to know literally that it's okay, that we are human, that we are a being, that we are literally a spiritual being living this human experience, and it is full, okay? And we are meant to learn together and from each other. And it's okay if things aren't perfect because they're not meant to be. And it just releases all of that pressure from you having to perform because you never did, period. You align with these things, with these great things, with these exceptional things, because that is who you are at your core. And all you need to do is realize it and respect it and honor it. Honor your body, honor yourself, respect your own boundaries. If they don't respect your boundaries, if you communicate with them and they're not respecting your boundaries, it's time for you to pull back. It's time for you to leave. And in the past, I didn't do that. I stayed, and that's what caused me to micromanage, because I was trying so hard to make this be something, because I was so scared, because in my past, trigger warning, in my past, growing up, I did not receive the love that I needed and deserved. My father literally abandoned me, literally left. I felt like if I could not receive that love, that care, that support from my father, how was I ever going to receive it from these other people, from these men, from these women? How was I going to receive it? I needed them to be perfect. I needed them to live up to this expectation. I needed them to be my Prince Charming and take me from this Cinderella lifestyle. I needed them to be my Aladdin and show me a whole new world. I needed them to be everything that I was scared of, to be everything something that I have never experienced, rather than showcasing that to myself, rather than being the parent in my life, 1444 on the clock, rather than standing up and creating that solid foundation for myself. I was trying so hard for somebody else to be that for me, and I placed all of that pressure on them. And then all of that pressure on myself to perform, to live up to that. And it was never fair to either of us. I don't need somebody to take up the mantle of being my father. I don't want that. I can be my own father. I can reparent my own self. I need somebody who can just be there, be their own person. And of course I want to be supported. Of course I want to be loved. But this is a partnership where we are equal. I don't need somebody who's above me. I don't need somebody who's below me. I need somebody who can look me in the eyes and grow with me. And so realizing that I have placed all of these past lovers, myself, my soulmates, that on these pedestals, on these things to be perfect, to do this. It just all came from all of the times that I was hurt and taken advantage of, but stayed or never stood up for myself and left, or never bothered to live up to my potential as a father to myself or as a mother to myself, and show myself how much I love myself, am here for myself, and am present for myself. Again, everything is energy. Everything is energy. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to perform. I don't need to have anything outside of myself to receive the love that I deserve. I already deserve that. It was already my birthright to begin with, because that's who I came here as. That's who I am at my very core, period. I may be learning about myself, and I may be falling in love with myself, and I may be learning who I am at my core, but I was always this. I was always this. This was who I always am to begin with. These people are simply aligning with me and who I am. And I won't have to do anything besides be myself, respect myself, and honor myself for them to see that. I'll say.